everyone! Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is gonna be about overcoming procrastination. So what's procrastination? Procrastination is when you put your task or your assignments or what you're supposed to do for today aside and deal with something else. For example, when you are supposed to study, you just keep time you just slack off and do something else. You occupy yourself to do something else, like reading a book or watching a Netflix show, and then feel like, okay, I'm just gonna watch a Netflix show for now. I'm just gonna watch season 1 episode 1 now, and then you're like, oh my god, it's getting interesting, I'm gonna watch the second one. And then as time passes by, you don't even realize time passed by so fast that you forgot that you're supposed to actually study. So that's what procrastination is about. So what I want to emphasize today is that everybody procrastinates, okay? Just do not think that, oh, Aruni's a top student, she's perfect, she doesn't procrastinate. Hell no. No. Okay? Do not think that way about me. Even a top student like me, I procrastinate. I'm being a 100 here, 1,000, okay? I procrastinate like a lot, especially when I'm going through mental breakdowns and when I'm not well. I feel like I just don't want to do at times. I feel like I just cannot deal with it anymore. To an extent, I feel like, yeah, basically it's that extent, okay? But that's why I have said in my previous videos that having the 3 support systems, if you have watched my first video where I spoke about having these 3 support systems, which is parents, lecturers or teachers, and your faith, your religion, okay? These 3 support systems will basically help you to boost yourself up and for you to feel motivated again to get back to your normal routine. So what you have to do is that I understand that everybody goes through mental breakdowns, especially in today's day and age where we as students, we cannot take too much of stress, we go through a lot of anxiety, we go through depression. There's just so much to deal with. Being a young student from a very young age, we just go through so much of emotions, right? Especially like with the things that we have to deal with, like family, friends, and just the society in general. But that should never ever stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. Let me give you an example, okay? Now, as for me, I have gone through some shit over the years, especially when I first started studying and feeling determined every semester to get my grades up high. Unfortunately, because of my parents' circumstances, that I had to fall, but that did not keep me from falling to the rock bottom. It definitely kept me up still because of the drive that I had. So I would always give this advice to my friends, right? To my classmates. I would say that we all go through shit in our lives, okay? Anxiety, depression is just something that we cannot avoid. But what we can avoid is when we determine ourselves and we put ourselves as to what we are supposed to do. Like when we are motivated, when we push ourselves, right? Sometimes when you over push yourself, you just feel tired, you feel like it's just too much to handle, and then you feel overwhelmed, and then eventually you just want to give up, right? But this is the thing about me. I'm not saying that it applies to you as well, but my advice, it could help you, okay? I'm a student who my anxiety is like so up right? So high that it could literally cause me to overthink at times, and because at that time I'll be dealing with a bunch of issues of my family and studies. I'll be juggling everything in one go, so it's very difficult for me. So what I usually do is I would take a step back and I would go and talk to my parents. And if I can't talk to my parents, I will go to my lecturers or my mentors, and I would talk to them and get some advice. And the thing is about our lecturers, they are always like, if you are a really good student, like I always said, like if you're a good student and you do your assignments on time, you submit, your attendance is good, everything is good about you, your lecturers see that, they will definitely guide you even when you're going through the difficult times in life, right? So what I do is I go to my lecturers, I talk to them, and then they give me some good advice that would help me sometimes to even deal with my anxiety. They would say things like, Aruni, you are not the only one going through it. Everybody goes through it, right? Life is just unpredictable, and not everyone is like you. So you always have to think yourself as exceptional to the situation, and you have to feel and put yourself into a shoes where you feel where you are. Sometimes, even I think like, why can't I be like the last semester? Why can't I achieve that goals that I did in the beginning of time? Like, why couldn't I do that? Like, there's a sense of regret, right? But that should never ever stop you from procrastinating, from doing your tasks that you initially supposed to even start off with. So like for me, I would say I would always push myself. So when I procrastinate and I feel like, I don't want to do my work anymore, I'm just gonna sit and watch a bunch of YouTube videos or scroll on Instagram. Okay, right, just for everybody's knowledge, right? You may think that this girl is on YouTube and stuff like that, but this girl has got no Instagram, okay? I don't handle social media, I don't do social media shit and stuff like that. But obviously I do have a social media account for my business. That's the only thing I use for. I don't have any private accounts and stuff like that. So my thing is, even when I scroll on Instagram, right, using my business account, sometimes social media is just so addicting that it just would make you feel like you're wasting your time. I always say social media is a waste of time, right? Even though I do it myself and I say that social media is a waste of time, but I acknowledge and I take 100% accountability for it, okay? Just so you know that I'm not trying to lie and fake things up. I sometimes, especially now when I'm doing my internship and I have nothing to do on the weekends, what I usually do is sometimes I scroll on social media, I would go on YouTube, I would watch videos, I watch movies, because I don't have much things to do. But when I get a baking order to do, right, or when I feel like, I'm just so sick of social media right now, you know what I do usually? I go out with my parents, because I don't have friends, right? So I would go out with my parents, I spend time with them, I would go to the mall, just go for window shopping and stuff like that. Just get your mind out of the way and do what you love. This is the thing. If you feel like you have so much of things to deal with and you feel like you're procrastinating a lot, to deal the procrastination much earlier is when you realize the problem that you're procrastinating and you're going through that much of issues. You go and do it. You faster go and do something that you love. For instance, if you like going to the beach, go to the beach. You go and feel the nature. When you go to the nature, right, you feel a sense of freshness, sense of new, like, I'm refreshed, I'm ready to start that journey again, I can do it, that kind of motivation, right? So I always have that drive. And then I would do a self-care, like come back home and then like as a girl, obviously, like I would take care of myself. I would do a face mask, and I would just basically have a day to myself where I would read a book, I watch a movie, take things slow, and eventually you see the changes, right? Within 2 to 3 days maximum, for me at least, my procrastination would go down. Like it would literally be dealt with if I take the immediate steps. So for you, what if you have that problems, always deal with the problems in a very early stage before things go so deep and you can't deal with it anymore, and then you feel like you're sinking into the ocean, and then it's going to be a very dramatic process to get you back up again. And this is where many students actually do not realize that when you do not deal with anxiety, depression, or mental health issues as soon as possible, it could lead you to many difficult situations, and you would definitely not have the motivation to study. And even how much of motivation videos that you watch, it's not going to help you at the end of the day, because you yourself do not even have the drive in the beginning to start with. If let's say you want to wake up at 4 in the morning, you must wake up at 4. Do not say like, oh, I'm gonna sleep, I'm exhausted. I just worked for 7 days of the week and I need a break right now. Yeah, no, just don't feel all of that shit. I always tell this to so many of my classmates. The best time is to always wake up at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning. Get your day started, like read a book in the morning when you wake up, read a book, have your breakfast, do something that you love, right? But do not watch movie, do not handle social media the minute you wake up. If you do that, there you go, again another day of exhaustion. Okay, but social media, the minute you sink yourself into that, you are going haywire, right? So you're not going to focus on your studies, you're not going to be able to focus on anything that is being delivered to you for the rest of the day. So you need to start your day strong. So when you start your day strong, you'll be able to basically push yourself, right? So if you start your day by reading a book or watching your lectures, recorded lectures that your lecturers have put up on your university board, or you want to take down notes, you want to read your lectures, you can do any of this like before you go to the university. And then when you go to the university, you obviously, most of you, I know nowadays generation children, you all have a lot of friends, you all go out with your friends and stuff like that. Do it. If you want to do it. If you find no motivation with your friends, well, that's it. I mean, what could you expect, right? Like, it's a very difficult thing if you want to feel like if you want to have your friends along the way, you can do it. Okay, if you feel like they're motivating for the day, you can go and hang with them. If you feel like they're not motivating you enough for the day, just don't hang. Do what you want. Always decide what you want to do. Okay, so that's why I say, like, if you want to overcome procrastination, always, and the best thing about overcoming procrastination also, right, is when you have bad friends who don't even want to motivate themselves. If they don't motivate themselves, they're not going to motivate you. They want you to just fall like them. If they're saying like, you know what, after class, let's go and watch a movie, or after class, let's go and have some meal or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong to have friends. You can definitely have friends, but you must pick and choose the right friends. Then you would be motivating each other and doing the same task together. When you both have the same goals in life, right, both of you will be walking the same direction together. If you both have two separate goals, y'all will be walking like this, but y'all are trying to hang with each other, so y'all are coming like this. So if you're getting what I'm trying to say, is basically that if you want to go on a straight path, you have to go like this. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to, so this is what I'm trying to emphasize to you, is that watching and doing your studies basically studying, right? It's just a very, very long process. It takes a lot of time. It takes, the minute you sit down and you want to study, there's a bunch of things that will randomly come to your mind, like, oh, I need to cook, I need to do my laundry, I need to feed the dog or the cat, or I have to run errands outside. Like, come on. The minute you sit down, you want to feel that way. I mean, it's inevitable, but I'm not saying it doesn't happen for me. It does happen for me as well. We are all humans at the end of the day, so it happens. So what I usually do is, when this thing happens to me, right, I immediately, because I have a to-do list. Like, I have my to-do list on Notion. So I do everything on Notion, right? And then I plan everything out, and then I also, yeah, this video is not sponsored by Notion, yeah, just so you know. I write all my to-do lists, my goals, my calendars. I have everything on Notion. So when I feel like I'm gonna sink in now, I got bunch of errands to do. First of all, I'll check my Notion. I'll see, like, okay, do I have anything to do for today? If I don't, then fine, I'll go and do it. But if I have studies to do, I have my assignments to do. When are the deadlines of my assignments? Shit, I have to work on it. That's when you get the adrenaline rush, right? That's when you feel like, oh my god, shit, I have to do it now. If I don't do it, I'm gonna be doomed, right? So what I do is, I go for it. I start my assignment on the spot. I don't feel like, oh, I'm gonna, I wait for another 2 days and then I'm gonna start my assignment. If I'm gonna do that, I'm definitely not a top A student, okay? Just letting you know. If you want to be a top A student, there's no way in hell that there's time for you to procrastinate. Right, like, my situation is different. I know everybody have their own situations in life. Everybody go through a bunch of problems. But you must always know how to balance yourself. Finding a balance and procrastinating, it's a whole new level, right? So, we first overcome the procrastinations. Every time deal with it. Do not, okay, if let's say the procrastination comes to you and you're going to be like, I'm going to laze out today. Fine. Laze. I'm not saying don't laze, yeah. I'm saying laze. Then, once you laze for the entire day, tomorrow you're fresh. You're feeling like, okay, yesterday I've done a bunch of things that I don't want to do. Today I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, right? So, you're going to work on it. So, it's not something that would be efficient for everybody, I'm trying to say, but you can definitely give it a try. Whatever advice that I'm giving you, right, doesn't mean that it's applying for me, it applies for you as well. You have to try it out. If you don't try it out and you do not apply it, and then you feel like, you know what, this girl is just talking a bunch of crap. I've tried it before, but it never happened, right? But I'm just gonna, like, do what I'm supposed to do. Fine, I mean, ain't nobody stopping you from that, but just do not tie yourself and feel and compare yourself to me, and to other people around you. Don't feel pressured, right? You're only supposed to feel pressured for your assignments and your exams. Don't feel pressured by other people to do what you love, to do what you want to do, what you're supposed to achieve. Because at the end of the day, if people pressure you to do your assignments and study for your finals, that is not you, okay? That's not you, and you can't even take up the pressure. Not everybody handles pressure very well nowadays because of the mental health issues that everybody is going through, and we are going through so much of emotions ever since we are young. Handling pressure is for a very minimal amount of people, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that you need to know your boundaries. You need to know how to deal with it. You need to know how to achieve it at the end of the day. If you want to achieve your education goals, you want to achieve your life goals, or whatever goals you want to achieve, as an A+ student, as a good student, a bright student in the university, this is what I'm telling you. This is the only way if you want to get what you want in life, right? Hard work. Okay? Work very smart. Do not let people to twist it. Do not ever let people to do this to you, okay? When people do this to you, basically you are this, and then when they do this, okay, they come in front of you, right? And then they feel like, oh, I'm over this person, I'm gonna like influence the person over. You're gone for good, okay? So never ever let things like that to happen. You have to have your own mind. You have to have your own sort of thoughts. You need to have your own sort of goals for your education, right? Then you can see so many miracle changes happening in your life. And also on top of that, every video I'm going to emphasize this, which is having the 3 support systems. Then you'll be able to know and deal with it in a very different mindset and achieve it with achieve it and have a beautiful life also. Okay, so this is Aruni signing off. That's all for today's video. Bye.